Hello and welcome to Crusader Kings 2 tutorial. This is on the UI, the Counselor tab, which of course you can get by clicking here and opening your council, or you can always just hit the F3 button and pull it up if you are a person that likes using hotkeys. Alright, so you'll notice we're not in Brittany here, but that's just for demonstration purposes. This is from my Ladies of Ireland playthrough. The Black Death has just been through, as you can tell by these terrible, terrible tombstones. But we are going to take a look at the counselors. So this is your council page. If you have the basic game, then some of these options are different. It may look a little bit different, but this is looking at Conclave with the Conclave expansion pack. And so these are your 5 basic counselor positions. And each one corresponds to one of the stats here on your character page. And remember, we talked about this being state diplomacy. Your state diplomacy is partially derived from your counselors. You see, Willow here has 14, his spouse is +4, and then his counselors are +19 because we go to his counselor, and his chancellor here is 19 diplomacy. Now, when you start a new game, you are not going to be able to find many people with very high stats like this, because your court is typically small, there's not as many characters in the game, and it's very rare to find someone with stats this high unless, they've been trained for it. Alright, so each one of these spots is very important, and each one does different things. The Chancellor, he's with diplomacy, so of course it would make sense that he helps with talking to people and making people like you better. Alright, so you have 4 options with him here with Conclave. You have the first one, which is Perform Statecraft. He is not anywhere on the map. He's technically in your court, and he helps improve relations, and he could also sabotage relations. So he has a positive thing and a good and a minus thing. He has 19 diplomacy, so his relations improved is 57%. And his he can sabotage only 1.45%. So it's very, very unlikely that he'll make people hate us, which is good. He'll mostly make people like us better. And it tells you there he's in Duke Kraken the Noble's Court of Dublin to perform statecraft. He's in our court. And it also says that threat decay speed. Threat decay is this up here. We are threatening because we have taken land from people. We have gone to war up here against these Muslims, and we've taken land, and so we are considered threatening, and some people have defensive pacts against us. I believe. Someone is. Yep, we can see Christian defensive pact against Alba. So all these, these kings and queens of Aquitaine and Burgundy and stuff, if we tried to declare war, like let's say we wanted to go declare war on this guy who's our family member, never mind. We didn't have a way to go against war. If we go to war against him, you see all these people will join in, even though they're not. If we go and we look, and they are not really his allies, only the Queen of Phrygia is. But they will all join in because they are a part of this defensive pact. They think we are getting too big and too scary. And so having your Chancellor here helps lower that threat decay speed plus 19%. So that's good, because as you see, it's very slow. And it can really hold you back and slow you down. That is something you can turn off when you're setting up the game, but it makes the game harder to have it on. Alright, your next one is Improved Diplomatic Relations. And you can click him and you can put him anywhere where it's green on the map, and he will slowly make that lord or different people in that court like you better. Alright. Next one is Fabricate Claims. If you are playing very small or you start here in Ireland, that is the best way to get claims on your neighbors. So you remember we can see claims here. We have claims on like the Kingdom of Burgundy, which is pretty cool. It's held by a woman. We could actually, go to war to claim it for ourselves, but we don't. And you can fake a claim. So basically you are sending your chancellor to this other county, and whoever he is trying to forge papers or find something suspicious or basically make things up so that you look like you have a claim on that title. If you send it to a kingdom, there is a small chance, if you send it, like let's say we send it here to France, where the King of France is ruling here. We have a chance to fabricate claims on any of his titles. The lower the title, the more likely it is to occur. And the likeliness is, of course, based on their diplomacy skill. And you also have a chance for it to be found out and to make that noble very angry with you, and he could even react by killing your chancellor, which, is not something that you like happening. And the next one is to sow dissent. So if you want someone to dislike someone else, you sow him to sow dissent, and he spreads vicious lies and makes people hate each other, which can be very useful if you're trying to make your king dislike your duke, so you can maybe take that duke title for yourself. Different reasons. All right, and so that's your chancellor. You can always tell him not to go to war, but as long as he's doing one of these 4 things, he can't go to war. And if we unclick one, you'll get a little pop-up up here saying he is idle. Hey, he's not doing any work. One thing to keep in mind is if you send him somewhere to improve diplomatic relations, you see it grays out. You cannot move them again for about 6 months. And that is something, that is something to keep in mind. All right. So next up we have our marshal. Our marshal here is, of course, military. He helps with getting more troops for our land. But here's his 4. He can organize the army. So as you can see, the base thing is it decreases retinue cost and horde maintenance. We don't have a horde because we are not that type of government here. But we do have a retinue, which is this retinue. And this retinue costs us money. But it is a little bit cheaper because we have him organizing the army. He also has a chance to improve our commanders and make them better. Or he has a chance to find commanders. He also has a minor chance to make the commanders brawl and hate each other or get injured or bad stuff. But here's our commanders. We actually don't have any at the moment, but we'll talk about that in a moment. And, that's a very good thing to have him sitting here doing if you're not at war. Next, he can suppress revolts. So if you've got a county that has we don't have anywhere with a high revolt risk. But if you go here, oh, there we go. Like this county here. This county has an 8% chance of revolt risk because they're a different culture group. They are Anglo-Saxon, and their ruler here is Norse. So she's an entirely different culture group. So they don't like that, and they want to revolt. And you see here we have a 8% chance. She recently crushed a revolt, so it's -4. But you can send here to suppress revolts, and it lowers it 15%. So that can be very useful. He can also has a chance to help arrest people. So if someone's doing things bad and you want to arrest them, like we can arrest the King of Alba here because he's been a bad man. We'll take a look at that in a second. Next one is train troops. So you've recently been to war. You lost a lot of troops. If you look here, your levy is depleted. Well, here our levy's depleted because of the Black Death. But your levy's depleted, and you want to get your troops back up a little faster. You send him to train troops. He also increases the levy size, not just the reinforcement rate. So he makes it a little bigger, and he also makes it resupply faster. This can be useful if you don't quite have enough troops because you get more free troops. He is a good person. He also can make nobles mad. And next one is military techs. So if you place him, like say here, you can only place him on the counties you hold directly, he will automatically spread more tech, which we will look at here later. And while he's spreading tech, he also has a chance for pop-ups that will military secrets revealed. You see that 3.84%. He has a chance of that occurring, and that means that you get random tech points, which are very nice to get. Alright, but let's say we send him Over here, suppress revolts. Where's that King of Alba? Let me just make sure. Do. Where are you? Yep, that's you. Okay. Just wanted to double check because sometimes kings like to change things around. Alright, so there's our King of Alba. And we click on him. He's been a bad man. We're going to try and arrest him. And it's a 32% chance. And we failed. So now he's gone into rebellion. Which is, not something we want to see, but that's what happens. Alright, so forget about him right now. Let's go back to F3. And next up we have our steward. She has to do with getting you more money. Your stewardship here. And she can do 4 different things here. She can minister the realm, which has a chance to improve your demesne. Your demesne is the land you hold directly. We hold 4 counties here, 2 dukedoms directly. So she has a chance to make them better. That has to do with the, well, right now we all have severe depletion because of the plague, but if we could find a place that's not, destroyed by the plague, it's probably a good chance we can't, because everywhere got destroyed by the plague. Everywhere. Alright. How about... Yep, nope. Everywhere's been destroyed. But see, this one has nothing. Yep. Maybe in India. India quite often escapes the plague. Yep, there we go. So here we go. Flourishing. He has more build time modifiers and stuff, so she has a chance to make this happen, which you can see on the map by you get these little piles of grain and stuff, or there's a little fruit basket that's the highest tier. There's this first tier, little bags. So she has a chance to do that and make things better. Alright, you can send her to collect taxes, which, gets you more money faster. She has a tax modifier, and she can collect a special tithe, or she can make the peasants attack her. Next, you can oversee construction. So if you're building something very big or important here in your, on your land, like maybe keep 4, which takes, 13 to, or keep 3, which takes over 1,000 days, you can send her there to oversee construction, and she will make it faster. And the last one is economy tech, which works the exact same way as the military tech in terms of spreading it. Alright, next up we have our spy master. Your spy master keeps you alive. He stops people from trying to kill you. And of course he can do 4 things. You can leave him in your court, which just lets him scheme, and he can find plots that people are trying to commit against you. And then there's also a chance he can get discouraged vassals from joining factions against you. What the factions are here. We will look at that later. So he does all sorts of good things. You can also send him to sabotage a province, which hurts like maybe the levy, like maybe you're about to go invade someone, but they have a little more troops than you do. You can send them to sabotage the province, and maybe you'll have a better chance. I don't use that one too often, actually. Next we have build spy network. This one is extremely useful. One, the main thing you will ever use it for is to stop vassals from joining factions. So, we have this faction here at Gavelkind Succession. It's not very powerful. It's only these 2 ladies. But if it was really strong, we would want to go here, and we would want to place our spy master right there to have a chance of discouraging her from joining factions. And when that occurs, we'll get a little pop-up, and you can choose to either ignore it, or you can choose to do all sorts of things depending on the characters and the events. You can obligate, threaten, blackmail. That's pretty much, obligate, threaten, blackmail, and bribe. There we go. Alright. And the last one is study technology. So unlike these ones where you can only place them in your own demesne, here you can place study technology anywhere on the map that is green, because that means they have better tech than you. Wow, Mali has better tech than us. Typically at the beginning of the game, Constantinople is always a good spot. They have very good tech. You do have the slight danger of if you send a male spy master getting his baby making equipment snipped off if he gets caught. But you get lots of tech points. It's glorious, and technology helps you improve your defense and gets you more soldiers and governments and all sorts of stuff. So it's cool. One thing to know is you always want to keep your spy master happy with you. If your spy master is unhappy with you, they have a very, very good chance of murdering you. Like if we go and we look here and we look at the choose plot, yep, it's very strong with her because she's a little girl. But if we go here to add people, you can sort. This person is her, well, that's my spy master. But where is her spy master? Her spy master should be in here. He should be very powerful. But yeah, spy masters have a lot of plot power. You want to keep them happy with you. Let's not kill that little girl. We don't need to. All right. So that's your spy master. Next up is your court chaplain. Your court chaplain is for learning and for religion. You can have them stay in your court and they will hunt apostles. If they are hunting apostles, they have a chance that you could pop up and you can burn them, throw them in prison, do all sorts of horrible things. Just be careful if that occurs, because you can become a kinslayer if that apostle happens to be part of your family. And that's if they're sitting in court. You can also send them to processalize. I can never say that word. And that is where they're converting the county. So you see, we go to religion. All this is Catholic, but we come to where this dude is. Where is he? Oha. No, he's not here. Guys, I guess he's in seclusion. But you can send him somewhere to try and convert the county back over to Catholic, or whatever your religion is. And so that's that one. You can have convert it, or you can convert subjects. Heathens attack the court chaplain, or you can create a heretic noble, or find a heretic noble. Sorry, don't create one. Next up is cultural tech, and the cultural tech works the exact same way as the economy and the military. You put them on one of your... Sorry, wait a minute. Why? I guess 0%. Well, you can only put them in your own land. That's odd. And last one is improve religious relations. So up here with your Chancellor, you can improve any relations. But with your court chaplain, you can improve religious relations. So those are only people that hold religious titles. So bishops, or you can always send it over here to the Pope man and make him like you more, which can be useful because it stops people who hate you from getting you excommunicated and stuff. So those are the people on your council. And you can always click and switch them out. Right now he's our best choice. It automatically organizes it by there. And then you'll notice these little icons. These little icons tell you what status, what their position is likely to be on the council. You can't see it looking here, but it's very important in terms of maybe getting laws done or things. So if we come here to your council, we can see we have 2 loyalists. They will basically do whatever we want them to do. We have zealots. They tend to like doing religious things. We have pragmatists. They like things that are very easy to do but make everyone stronger. And glory hounds, they like making the realm much better all the time, though sometimes what they want doesn't exactly line up with what you think will make the country better. We also have an advisor slot because we are an emperor. And if we look at our council is empowered here. This tells you what your council can vote on and do. Right now our council can only vote on war declarations, and then they're empowered. If they're empowered, that means they can vote on other government law changes. But a good thing about that is being empowered means we get an advisor slot. This means we can stick someone on the council who's not on the council who wants to be on the council, and this makes them happier. We have an empty advisor slot because the King of Scotland here was on the council until he, rebelled. Oh, can I click on him? There we go. He rebelled. One thing to use the advisor slot for is typically you want to use it for someone who has this little fist right here. So that means he is a powerful vassal. He thinks he belongs on the council, whether he's good at his job or not. He is an advisor himself because, as you can see by his stats, he's not too spectacular. But he's happy. He's on the council. He's an advisor. He gets to tell me what to do. He gets to help change laws. So there's not really a point in putting any of these people in the advisor slot because none of them are powerful vassals, and it doesn't matter. So I'd really just want to go with someone who's loyal to me. So I have 3 loyalists, means I can change laws if I could actually change a law. But right now we're timed out. All right. And so that's your council. If your council is empowered, you can also enforce realm peace, which makes all of your vassals stop fighting each other, which is very important when it comes to changing like succession laws because you have to be at peace and no vassals are fighting each other. So you can't change succession without enforcing realm peace quite often if you are a larger empire. And then here it just shows you how many of each type you have on your council. The last one that we don't have right now is a malcontent. Malcontents are typically people that hate you, and they will just, if you want to attack Sweden, they will say no, even if they're the title claimant quite often. I mean, sometimes they will, sometimes they won't, but typically they will just vote against whatever you want to do. Last up we have minor titles. Minor titles, there's not too many of them if you are lower rank, but as you get higher there's more of them, and depending on your culture there's more of them. When we're playing as Tibet, we've got all sorts of other things. But the 2 most important here is your designated regent. If you die and a kid takes the throne, this is the person that gets to sit here and tell the kid what to do. You kind of want to do people that won't murder your child. Also, if you become incapable, then this is the person that will be in charge. So you want to do someone who's trusted, who likes you, who's not going to ruin things. And you also want to pay attention to their stats because if they are greedy, they will steal your money. Or deceitful. I think there's another one too. Next up is your court physician. This is the person that keeps you alive. You can select from learned people in your court. If you don't have a learned person, you can come here and recruit a court physician, sorry. Next we have court eunuch. These are court eunuch and court dwarf. These are just little honorary titles that give some prestige and make them like you more. You can see plinion plus 10, salary, prestige. They of course have to be a eunuch and a dwarf. And next up we have court jester. This makes people dislike you. So if you really want someone to hate you and go into rebellion, you can make them the court jester. And then we have other ones: Keeper of the Swans, Master of the Horse, Master of the Hunt, High Almoner, Cupbearer, Sentinel, and all of these are just purely ways to make people like you a little bit more. They're only +5 opinion, but that can be just enough to get them over the line, and it makes people more prestigious. So quite often you may want to give one to your heir so they start getting prestige sooner. Next up we have our court tutor. Our court tutor is a new thing, and they will handle training everyone. So if you want lots of military people in your court, you may want to choose a court tutor who has a military education. We don't have many good choices here for court tutor, but let's say we want to make everyone very good at learning. We would pick her, and she would automatically train all the kids that we just don't want to deal with. See, she is now his educator. We don't like that, so we can still go in and manually change it back to ourselves. Because we're like, nope, we're going to train our own kids, thank you, woman. Or we have this man training our son. Don't know why, because he's pretty darn terrible. But you can come in and you can manually make someone better. You can organize by there. You're better. You're not much better, but you're better. There you go. Under that we have our commanders. So you will sometimes get commanders chosen from your marshal if they are organizing the army, but quite often you have to go in and select them. One thing to pay attention to when you're picking commanders is their marshal score, and then also any modifiers on the shield. If you have someone that is craven, you really don't want them being a commander. Like you see here, she has morale defense. They are more likely to break and run because they are scared. You can also pay attention to the lovely little modifiers they have elected here. So she would be a good commander because she already has one. He would be a good commander. This person has a lot of martial, so they would be good. And, you know, any of these are kind of the same. This person has a modifier because they are brave, which is nice, and their martial is the same as these other people, so sure, why not you? And you can have more commanders depending on the side on your top title. A count can only have 2 commanders or 3 commanders. It depends, 2 or 3. All right, so that is here. You can also sort this because this does get so long. You can also unclick so you only see your commanders. And you can also tell auto assign, though I really wouldn't recommend doing that because quite often the AI will just pick the highest martial people and they may be craven or they may have other bad traits that will hurt you and hurt your army. And then you see when we come in here to select someone for our army, we have our commanders to choose from. You should also have yourself to choose from, but we are in seclusion because of the Black Death. So, yeah, actually there is no Black Death anymore. So we can open the gates, and now we can be a commander ourselves. So you yourself can always be a commander, though you can again toggle that off here, just like you can toggle it off for your commander, for your chancellors. Alright, this video was very long. I apologize for that. If you have any questions, please let me know. And I hope you have a pleasant day. Thank you very much. Y'all have a good day. Bye.